Hello everyone. It's such a pleasure to see you again in today's video. As usual, I'm bringing you another new story about Hoai Ca and Officer Hung, two people who have stood by each other through countless trials in their peaceful countryside village. Recently, a string of daring thefts has shaken the commune. From private homes to small local shops, thieves have been lurking everywhere. The villagers live in constant fear, and the once peaceful atmosphere of the village feels completely unsettled. One stormy night, tragedy struck. Mother Ha, the foster mother who once took care of Hoai Ca when she was a child, was robbed. She lives alone, already elderly, and couldn't react in time. The wooden door was pried open, the wardrobe rummaged through, and the small wooden box containing her lifetime savings had vanished. Upon receiving the report, Hung, the village police officer, immediately arrived at the scene. He quickly examined the evidence and traced the suspect's direction. Then, in the pitch-black night, along the muddy village path, he courageously chased down the thief who was trying to escape across the rice fields. The pursuit was intense, rain pouring down, flashlight beams cutting through the darkness. When Hung finally caught the thief, he discovered a shocking truth. The culprit wasn't a stranger at all, but someone from the village, someone he once knew, once helped. How will Hung handle this, when the person behind the crime is someone he used to trust? And what about Hoai Ca, the gentle woman who always believes in kindness? How will she face this painful truth? Stay with me through the entire video to see the full, emotional and dramatic story unfold. That early morning, mist still blanketed the tiled roofs, and droplets of water fell rhythmically onto the porch. A cold wind swept in from the fields, carrying the damp scent of soil and the faint aroma of cooking fires drifting through the village lanes. The peaceful countryside was just waking to the sound of roosters crowing when suddenly, a frantic shout broke the calm. Thieves! Mother Ha's house was robbed. All the money's gone, her gold bracelet too. The cry tore through the quiet dawn. Within moments, the whole village was in an uproar. People dropped their brooms mid-sweep, others abandoned their stoves still burning to rush out. Footsteps slapped against the dew-soaked dirt road, dogs barked wildly, chickens fluttered to the roofs, confusion and worry rippled through the air. At the end of the lane stood Mother Ha's small house, moss-covered roof tiles, faded walls, now surrounded by villagers. The bamboo gate hung open. Inside, a few neighbors gathered to comfort her. There were sighs, murmurs, and the trembling sobs of the kind old woman who had lived alone for years. Mother Ha sat numbly on the doorstep. Her thin, trembling hands rested on her knees. Her vacant eyes stared into space. Her hair was disheveled, her face pale, her voice quivering and broken. The wooden chest, in the corner, it's been pried open. The money my son sent me to fix the roof, and the keepsakes from his father, they're all gone. Hearing the news, Hoai Ca, who had been packing baskets of persimmons to bring to market, froze in place. Her hands stopped mid-air, heart pounding. Several ripe persimmons rolled across the floor and out to the porch. It can't be, she thought, before shouting in alarm, her voice trembling. On Hung. Something's happened at Mother Ha's house. We have to go, now. Hung, who had just finished putting on his police uniform, turned sharply. He grabbed his flashlight without another word, threw on a jacket, and ran with his wife toward the sound of chaos. The village path was drenched in dew, water splashing with every hurried step. When they arrived, the place was crowded. Hoai Ca pushed through, breathless, fear written all over her face. Mother, are you all right? She cried, kneeling beside the trembling old woman and holding her frail hands. Mother Ha managed a weak smile and shook her head. I'm fine, child. I just feel sorry that everything's gone. I'd saved it for years, to fix the broken roof before the rainy season. Tears welled in Hoai Ca's eyes. Around them, neighbors tried to tidy up the mess. Someone muttered under their breath, "Who could do such a cruel thing? She's kind to everyone, never harmed a soul." Hung said nothing. He stepped inside the house, carefully observing every detail. The wooden cabinet's lock was smashed, twisted open. On the floor lay tiny fragments of metal. He swept his flashlight along the walls, stopping at the corner, where the old wooden chest had been forced open, fabric scattered inside, as if someone had rummaged in haste. Kneeling down, he touched the edge of the broken latch. The metal was still shiny, not rusted, meaning the theft couldn't have happened long ago. His eyes narrowed. On the surface of the cabinet, he noticed faint muddy smudges, wet handprints. Outside the door, footprints marked the damp soil, common plastic sandals, the kind most villagers wore. He frowned, voice low and steady. Something's not right. If this were a typical robbery, why only take cash and a few old items, while leaving behind things far more valuable? Behind him, Hoai Ca stood silently, heart aching. She looked around the small, familiar house, everything still in its place, yet the peace that once filled it was gone. Outside, morning sunlight pierced through the leaves, casting flickering light across the floor. A few chickens pecked calmly nearby, oblivious to the turmoil around them. The air grew heavy. The murmurs faded until only the rustling of the wind through the beetle palms remained, brushing against the old curtain. Hung stood in the center of the room, eyes dark with thought. And Hoai Ca, clutching the hem of her shirt, felt a strange unease rising deep within, a faint, chilling sense that this robbery was only the beginning of something much more sinister. While Hoai Ca was still sitting beside Mother Ha, holding her trembling hands to comfort her, Hung quietly stepped out to the backyard. The first light of dawn filtered through the banana trees, glimmering on dew-covered leaves. The damp smell of earth mixed with the acrid scent of burnt straw, that familiar fragrance of the countryside after a rainy night. Beneath his feet, the ground was soft and muddy, clearly imprinted with footprints. Hung crouched down, examining them carefully. The prints were messy and overlapping, but something odd caught his attention. There were only outgoing footprints, none coming in. He frowned, squatting lower, and gently pressed his fingers onto the fresh mark. The soil was still wet, meaning someone had walked through just hours ago, likely during the night rain. Near the fence, a section of barbed wire had been cut. The end was frayed and bent outward. Hung bent down, picked up a small strand of wire, noticing a few pale blue threads clinging to it. He turned it over in his hand, studying it for a long moment before murmuring to himself. The wire was cut, from the inside out. From inside the house, Hoai Ca heard him and rushed out, her voice full of worry. "What did you say? Cut from the inside out?" Hung nodded, eyes still fixed on the wire. "That's right. If it were an intruder breaking in, the wire would have been cut from the outside. But this was clearly cut from within, by someone leaving." His words sliced through the air like a knife. Hoai Ca froze, then stammered. "You mean, someone close to her, someone from inside the house, might have done this?" Hung didn't answer immediately. He looked up toward the small house, where the oil lamp still flickered faintly. His voice lowered, calm but firm. "I'm only saying it's a possibility. Or, someone could be trying to fake the scene to make it look that way." Hoai Ca clenched her hands, her heart tightening. The thought chilled her to the bone. All her life, Mother Ha had been gentle, kind, loved by everyone in the village. The people who came and went from her house could be counted on one hand. Aside from a few close neighbors, there were hardly any outsiders. Hearing the conversation, Mother Ha, still sitting inside, lifted her head. Her voice trembled, heavy with grief. No, my dear. No one in this house could do something so cruel. There's only Han. She comes by sometimes to help me sweep and wash clothes. She's a good girl, quiet and well-mannered. I treat her like family. It can't be her. Tears streamed down her wrinkled cheeks as she spoke. Hoai Ca silently squeezed her hand, eyes glistening. Hung, still standing under the eaves, rolled the wire between his fingers, lost in thought. He recalled that Han used to work for the family next door before helping Mother Ha with house chores these past few months. Honest, reserved, and soft-spoken, no one in the village had ever heard her raise her voice or cause trouble. But years on the force had taught Hung one truth: in the simplest cases, the least suspected person is often the key to everything. The morning wind stirred, rattling the bamboo blinds against the wall. He stared toward the narrow path behind the fence. The footprints led toward the pond at the back of the garden, where a small trail continued to Hana's house. Hung tightened his grip on the wire, his tone low and steady. I'll check that direction, quietly. No need to stir panic in the village yet. Hoai Ca looked at him, her eyes reflecting both worry and faint hope. Inside, Mother Ha sat motionless, clutching the corner of her sleeve, mumbling something no one could make out. The air in the small house grew heavier than ever. Only the wind's whistle through the beetle palms remained, and the dry rustle of banana leaves brushing together, like the whisper of secrets from the night before that had yet to fade away. That afternoon, the sunlight had softened, leaving only faint streaks of gold glimmering across the old tiled roof. The cicadas buzzed lazily among the areca trees in Mother Ha's garden. After hours of gossip and speculation, the villagers slowly dispersed. The air grew quiet again, only the soft creak of the bamboo fence and the chirping of sparrows returning to their nests remained. Hung asked Mother Ha for permission to check the yard once more before leaving. He walked slowly, eyes sweeping across every tree base, every fence corner, as if afraid to miss the smallest clue. When he reached the last areca tree at the back of the garden, where the soil was still damp and uneven, he noticed something odd, a patch of freshly disturbed earth. The soil there was looser, its color slightly different from the rest. This spot was just tampered with, he murmured. He crouched down, carefully scraping away layers of moist soil with his pocket knife. A musty odor rose from beneath. Then, a small piece of torn fabric appeared, yellowish floral print, stiff with dried mud. He wrapped it gently in a tissue and held it up to the light. It wasn't ordinary cloth. It was thick and slightly shiny, the kind used for the uniforms worn by staff at the small grocery shop at the village entrance, known for its yellow patterns and green trim. Standing nearby, Hoai Ca gasped softly. On Hung. I recognize that. This fabric's from Hana's shop. The staff there wear these uniforms, everyone in the village knows it. Hung remained silent for a long moment before nodding slightly. His gaze was deep and unreadable. He carefully placed the fabric into a small plastic bag, then turned toward the back door of Mother Ha's house, the same one where he discovered the cut wire that morning. In his mind, the fragments began to connect, the footprints leading outward, the blue fabric thread, the disturbed soil, scattered pieces of a puzzle that he wasn't yet ready to complete. As dusk fell, the reddish light of sunset slipped through the areca grove, casting long shadows over the brick courtyard. Mother Ha sat quietly on the doorstep, her tired eyes staring into the distance. Hoai Ca stood nearby, torn between suspicion and sympathy. That night, Hung changed into plain clothes, pulled on an old jacket, and walked alone toward the village entrance. The small convenience shop owned by Han was still lit. Inside, she was rearranging the shelves, the soft clatter of a money counter mixed with the TV's evening news. The air smelled of soap, cooking oil, and candy, that familiar scent of a rural shop. Hung stepped inside, offering a polite smile and a calm voice. "I'll take a bottle of cooking oil and a pack of salt, please. Haven't dropped by in a while." Han looked up. Her eyes flickered in surprise, but she quickly forced a smile. "Oh, Officer Hung. It's been ages since I last saw you here. You must have a lot of free time these days, huh?" He smiled faintly. "Yeah, just visiting the village. I heard things have been peaceful lately, no troubles, right?" Han gave a nervous chuckle, lowering her gaze as she packed the items. Her movements were awkward, clumsy. Her eyes darted briefly, anxious, uneasy. Hung, ever observant, caught it instantly, and saw something else, a small, thin scratch on her left wrist, about 2 centimeters long, like a cut from a sharp wire. He immediately recalled the barbed wire that had been sliced open behind Mother Hoa's house. He said nothing more. He took his items, handed her the money, and nodded politely. "Thanks. Hope business goes well." She forced a smile, her voice barely steady. "Thank you. Take care, officer." As Hung stepped out, the night wind picked up, scattering a few receipts off the counter and out the door. The yellow shop light fell across his face, half in brightness, half in shadow. He paused for a moment and glanced back. Inside, Han was bent down, trembling slightly as she picked up the fallen papers. His eyes darkened with thought, deep, distant, hiding something unspoken. He turned away, walking slowly down the brick path, the cold night air seeping through his jacket. From somewhere in the distance, a dog barked into the darkness, short, echoing bursts that faded into silence. Everything was quiet, too quiet, the kind of quiet that made one feel that, somewhere beyond the shadows, unseen eyes were watching. Late at night. The sky had turned a deep, heavy gray, thick with storm clouds. The wind rose, whipping through the row of chinaberry trees at the gate, sending yellow leaves spiraling through the air before they fell softly onto the wet ground. Thunder rumbled in the distance, mingling with the croaking of frogs by the pond, a haunting chorus beneath the cold, endless rain. Hung was still awake. He sat by the window, listening to the rain pounding on the tin roof. His instincts, that sharp, unshakable sense honed through years on the force, told him this case wasn't over. Something was wrong. Too many details didn't add up, and deep down he knew the truth hadn't yet been revealed. He stood, put on a thin raincoat, grabbed his flashlight and small radio. Outside, the wind bit at his skin, rain lashed against his face. The village path was muddy, the beam of his flashlight flickering across puddles that shimmered like 1,000 silent eyes watching him. Through the downpour, Mother Hoa's house appeared, dark, still, save for a single oil lamp flickering weakly on the porch. Its dim light wavered in the gusts, casting the trembling shadow of the old bamboo curtain against the wall, frail, lonely, almost human. Hung hid behind a chinaberry tree near the gate, his raincoat soaked through. He waited, listening, only the relentless drumming of rain, the patter of leaves sliding off the roof, and the occasional flash of lightning tearing across the sky. Then, through the thick curtain of rain, a figure emerged. From afar, the person was hunched and thin, wrapped in a black raincoat with the hood pulled low. Moving quietly, hesitantly, glancing around as if terrified of being seen, the figure crept toward the porch. Then, pulling a small cloth bag from inside the coat, they placed it carefully by the doorstep, and turned to leave. Hung sprang forward, boots splashing through puddles, voice sharp against the roar of rain. "Stop right there." The figure froze. The flashlight cut through the darkness, and the beam struck a familiar face, Tuan. The young man who lived next door to Mother Ha, the one who often came by to chop firewood and fix her roof, the one everyone in the village trusted like family. Tuan stood trembling, eyes wide. The bag slipped from his hands and hit the ground, spilling open. Hung knelt down. Inside were old banknotes carefully wrapped in a worn cloth, along with pieces of jewelry. It was everything that had been stolen from Mother Ha. Tuan suddenly dropped to his knees, rain beating against his face, mixing with tears. Officer Hung. I'm sorry. I swear I didn't steal it. I was tricked. His voice cracked between sobs and thunder. That night, they told me to open the door, said they just needed to get some papers. I was stupid, I believed them. But then, they went through her chest, took everything, and ran. I panicked, didn't know what to do. I just wanted to bring it back, make it right. Hung stood silent, gripping his flashlight tightly. His gaze was stern, calm, not angry, but cutting. Who were they? Tuan lowered his head, shoulders shaking. His voice broke amid the rain. It was Mr. Bay, the man working on the construction near the riverbank. He took me drinking, said he was deep in debt, needed to grab some papers from her house. I believed him, and he took everything. He disappeared afterward. I couldn't sleep for days, just wanted to return it quietly. Hung studied him for a long moment. Under the beam of light, Tuan's face was pale, streaked with rain and tears. The wind howled, whipping Hung's raincoat around him. Finally, his deep voice cut through the storm, slow, steady, resolute. All right. I'll handle this from here. But listen to me, when you've done wrong, the only way to fix it is by doing what's right. Run from it, and you'll never stand tall again. Tuan broke down, sobbing helplessly into the wet earth. His cries blended with the sound of rain, like a confession whispered too late. Hung turned away, his expression unreadable. A flicker of doubt lingered in his eyes, because something still didn't make sense. If Tuan had only opened the door, why was the fence wire cut from inside out? And why did Han have a scratch in the exact same place as that cut wire? Perhaps this, Mr. Bay, was just another link, part of something deeper, darker, quietly spreading through the village itself. The rain kept falling. The village was shrouded in cold, silvery gray. And in the distance, the oil lamp on Mother Ha's porch still flickered, like an old, weary eye that refused to close, burdened by a sorrow too heavy to name. The next morning, mist still blanketed the hills, and the distant sound of roosters echoed across the valley. Hung had been up since dawn, reporting the entire case to the commune police. By mid-morning, a coordinated team was dispatched to arrest Mr. Bay, a man with a prior record of petty theft who had been working on a construction site by the river. During interrogation, Mr. Bay bowed his head and confessed everything. He had learned that Mother Ha had recently received money from her son to repair the house, and greed overtook him. He tricked Han, who trusted him, into opening the door for him under the pretense of retrieving some papers to pay off a debt. But the moment the door opened, he tore through the old wooden chest, grabbed all the cash and gold, and fled into the night. News of his arrest spread quickly through the village, bringing a wave of relief. Peace seemed to return to the little lane at the edge of town, and the moss-covered house of Mother Ha once again glowed warmly under the evening light. She sat on the porch, holding Hoai Ca's hands tightly, her voice quivering with emotion. Thank heaven for Hung. Without him, I'd have nothing left. There really are good people in this world, child. Hoai Ca bowed her head, smiling through tears. She turned toward Hung, who stood quietly near the porch, his police uniform still marked with mud from the stormy night before. In her gaze was not only love, but also pride and deep gratitude. She knew, no matter how hard the road, this man would always choose to do what was right. Late afternoon. The rain had stopped. The sky cleared, glowing with a soft golden light that spilled over the straw piles along the village path. Hoai Ca and Hung walked home side by side. The damp road smelled faintly of hay, and the cool breeze rustled through the bamboo groves. She spoke softly, almost in a whisper. "You must feel happy, helping Mother How like that." Hung smiled, eyes fixed on the horizon. "Happy, yes. But also sad, because sometimes kindness gets taken advantage of. Still, if everyone's too afraid to be good, then who's left to do the right thing?" Hoai Ca looked at him, eyes filled with tenderness. "I just know, no matter what happens, you'll always be the one I trust most." They walked slowly along the village road, their footsteps splashing softly in the puddles, mingling with the rustle of areca leaves overhead. In the distance, the temple bell tolled, deep and warm, echoing through the sunset. Another day came to a close, calm, serene, as if the storm had never passed. Yet deep inside, they both understood, sometimes, even the smallest event can test the human heart, and reveal the truest light within it. Thank you all for watching the story of Hoai Ca and Officer Hung. If you enjoy heartfelt, everyday stories like this one, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share to support the channel. And remember, stay tuned for the next episodes, because behind every ordinary person, there's always an untold story waiting to be discovered.
Xin chào tất cả mọi người đã quay trở lại với kênh của mình. Hôm nay thì mình tiếp tục đưa đến với mọi người câu chuyện về mẹ đơn thân Lý Hoai Ca là cảnh sát Hùng. Và ở trong tập này thì Hùng và Ca đã làm một việc vô cùng ý nghĩa, nhất là đối với mẹ Hà. Mẹ Hà là mẹ nuôi của Hoai Ca, thì hôm nay mẹ Hà bị ăn trộm nên là Hùng đã giúp mẹ Hà bắt được trộm. Thì mọi người xem qua video hôm nay thì mọi người cũng đã biết hết được cốt truyện rồi. Nếu như mọi người yêu quý kênh mình thì hãy đăng ký ủng hộ cho kênh mình nhé.